Hi, my name is Lynnis Woods-Mullins, and welcome to the very first pilot edition of Living Well Woman. I tell you, we are so excited about this. And of course, as normal, when you're doing anything on the internet and trying to do it live, we ran into some technical difficulties, so we are recording it. But moving forward, we're going to be going on live. We'll tell you more about the actual date of our next live show a little bit later on. But I want to get to right away why I decided to do this show. I am a holistic wellness and living expert, and I specialize in working with women over 40. I've been doing this for 10 years, and in the 10 years, I've done many podcasts on my show, The Wellness Journey Live and the Wellness Journey podcast series, What's Inside You, Mind, Body, Spirit, and the Wellness Woman Show. And on all those shows, one thing that I was always struck with was I felt like something was missing in terms of the kind of information that I wanted to share. And the bottom line is, because I am a woman of color, African American, as you can tell in particular, I wanted to discuss some of those topics that may not resonate with all the women in the world, but would resonate in particular with women of color. And my studies have shown, and statistics show, that we do deal with some things differently and encode the world differently. And that in tune impacts our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. So one day, literally about 4 or 5 months ago, I said, hey, what if we did have a wellness show talking about things that women of color care about? And I said, okay, well, if I were to do something like that, I'm not doing it by myself because I get tired of hearing myself talk. So I want to find a panel of awesome women who believe the way that I do, that not only we do have some special considerations because we are special people. Let's face it, we are queens walking on this earth, women of color, because we are special. I wanted them to be special too, and to have something really special to contribute. So that's how I ended up. And I'm telling you, it was nothing but the universe, God, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. It was a spiritual experience having these two ladies that I found to join me on this panel. So as is tradition on most of my shows, I don't introduce my guests. I let them introduce themselves because I feel like they are the ones who are the experts when it comes to themselves. So I'm going to first introduce you to Keisha Dixon, the tapping queen. Keisha.
Hi, I'm Keisha Dixon. I am a transformational wealth coach. I'm also an EFT practitioner and a worthiness detective. And I love the topic of wellness because for wellness, for me, it means women having a voice. And as a worthiness detective, I examine what's stopping or silencing that voice, whether it's our inner sense of worth, the inner critic, that inner dialogue that we sometimes say to ourselves. Or maybe not setting healthy boundaries or defaulting to guilt instead of saying, no, that's not fair. So I'm deeply vested in how we're healing and creating a wellness experience within our collective confidence and our collective value. And I think that's so important for women of color, that we increase our confidence, which is always going to manifest in our good health and also in our wealth.
See, that's why one of the reasons why I asked her. She's awesome. And Dr. Dravon James, please tell us about you and why you decided to do this with us.
Wonderful. Well, I'm Dr. Dravon James of Everyday Peace with Dr. Dravon James, and I'm an author and an inspirational speaker, and I'm super excited to be part of this journey. And wellness for me, for women, means balance. And what I call the big three: health, wealth, and relationship, and finding a way to create that balance and maintain that balance. So I think through this initiative that we have here, we're going to develop a wonderful tribe of women that we can go through our life's journey together and really find a way to create and maintain balance in those areas.
Thanks so much. And I'm so excited to have these women on this journey. And I'll tell you why this is, in particular, these two. It's because up until this time last year, I didn't know they existed. They didn't know I existed. In fact, Dr. Dravon James, I just met just a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago maybe, and Keisha Dixon I met this past June in 2018. But the interesting thing about it is the synergy is there. And as we began talking about the kinds of things we wanted to share with you and the kinds of topics we wanted to cover, I knew that I found the right women. So why don't we share with them some of the stuff we're going to be talking about, ladies, in the course of this show that we are creating.
Absolutely. Well, one thing we're always going to I always love to talk about is money. And why don't we have more? And let's create a new wealth reality.
Okay. And
It's really looking at those things that crop up in everyday life, right? And how they are how we are allowing them to interrupt our wellness journey, instead of using them to participate in our wellness journey. So just taking everything that shows up in our life. So using our family, our careers, our ups and our downs as a part of our wholeness journey instead of our wholeness journey.
And I thought we should talk about stress and anxiety, because
Yes.
stress can really run down our immune system. Anxiety is something that we don't really talk about a lot, but I think more of us have it than not. And for those who are over 40, I'm 60, and my other two cohorts, I know one's in the 50s. I'm not sure about Dr. Dravon. She looks like she's 18, so I don't know.
I'm in my 50s too. So.
They're 50s too. Okay. So we have some life experience. Yeah. And one thing I can say, being a coach for women over 40, one of the things I've run into a lot are the things that we don't talk about. And as a result of not talking about it, it really exacerbates the symptoms that we're experiencing. That thickening in our bodies that happens as we age, because of the cortisol. Well, that cortisol is a hormone that comes as a result of being under stress. And I think that being a woman of color, whether you're successful or not in this country, is stressful. It's very stressful. And you find yourselves not dealing with those things in terms of what happens with us stress-wise. And then it shows out on our bodies by weight gain or by chronic disease. So I want to talk about that. And one of the things we said we were going to do with this show is that we not only just wanted to talk about these things, but we want to provide you with some solutions in terms of things that you can do so that you will feel better in your mind, your bodies, and your spirits.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm so glad you talked about the stress issue too, but that's huge. I know we also talked about just those things that contribute to stress, the keeping of secrets, how that's kept us in bondage so much. And this is going to be an environment for us to just kind of purge and go through that process together. Those secrets, for whatever reason, there are secrets, there are family secrets, our friends' secrets, just letting go of all that pretense, dealing with relationship, whether it be romantic or children or aging parents, what have you. All those things contribute to stress as well. And you're right, stress is a killer of dreams and physical health.
And boy, this light was coming in. Sorry about that. It's like, oh, let the light shine. I can see you. We're having approval from above. Okay, yes.
Lately,
but I also wanted to talk about relationships.
Oh.
Our relationships with our men, whoever your significant other is, but also our relationship with each other.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think also with so much emphasis being placed in our face on gaslighting these days with so much going on in the news, I also wanted to talk about how are we gaslighting ourselves? Why aren't we admitting to the emotions we have? Because they may feel messy.
And what about that angry black woman? We talked about that, remember? What about that? Is that real? And if it is real, why are we so angry? Like we don't know. And is it okay for us to be angry? What's wrong with us showing our emotions? And what's that all about? Things like that maybe we talk about kind of, sort of, but maybe we don't have any solutions. And we want to help you to find these solutions together. Another great idea that we've had, and we're looking forward to this, is bringing on a fourth person as an expert that will help us with some of these things. Because one of the things I wanted to do, and I haven't caught up with her yet, but I know a sexologist, and we want to talk about intimacy in relationships and why maybe some of us have problems being intimate. And I'm not talking about having sex, that's a whole nother thing, but why you have a problem connecting in an intimate way with another person, whatever your significant other is, male, female, whatever. Why you seem to hold back. What's that all about? Because sometimes that happens with women of color because of trauma. And that's the other thing I want to talk about is trauma. A lot of us have been through trauma. I've experienced trauma. I'm assuming most Black women and women of color have experienced some kind of trauma. What are we going to do about that? How does it make you feel? I want to really get into some of those things that you don't talk about. Another thing we talked about, remember this, ladies, we talked about our hair.
Let's talk about it.
And how about our femininity? Because just because we're over 40, addressing our femininity and where we are in that whole process and the journey of that.
Yes.
There's a lot of issues that I think we can really get into as we develop as a tribe, as a family here. There's a lot of things that we have on our mind that we are either consciously or unconsciously dealing with or not dealing with, that are eating us up inside, that it'd be nice to have this close-knit environment, community, to develop and explore some of these concepts and just be free.
That's right. Free.
And as the currently single woman in the group, let's talk about sex and let's talk about dating after 40 as well.
Yeah, well, and hey, marriage after 40, I was just watching something the other day about how women in general, not just women of color, but women in general, as they get into their 50s and in their case 60s, and you're married and, you start living like brother and sister. Why is that? And what can you do to change it? Hey, it happens.
Yeah. And the emotions that are involved there, because we're still very much alive and very much passionate people. So what happened?
Right. And if you don't have that significant other, then what are you doing? Because girlfriend, you need to be doing something. You got to get those hormones going. So if you're not having sex with somebody, you need to be having sex with something.
Life should be just as full after 40 as it was before 40.
Absolutely.
We can go back and reclaim that for ourselves, recreate community for ourselves. We're so relevant. We're so relevant. The bulk of the population now is but baby boomers. So we're in style, we're in vogue. Let's do this with class and with a lot of fun. Learn to laugh and just really those taboo topics that you were probably like myself all taught don't belong in public. Let's have those. Let's open up
discussions. Yeah, absolutely.
Discussions.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll tell you something I want to talk about because my age is on, because I am definitely a baby boomer at 61. I want to know what's going up with this word bitch. I need someone to explain that to me. I was watching the wonderful talented person Issa, who has written Insecure. It's a great show. It's funny. It gives you a look into what the 30-somethings are talking about. But why do they have to call each other bitch? I don't get it. I guess my age is showing at 61, but I just don't get that.
I don't know exactly. I would love to hear what people have to say about that.
Yeah, me too.
But I kind of think of it as the N word, when it was used to hurt us. Mm-hmm. And then we just took it and embraced it and just made it part of slang, and it just became like, you can't use this word to hurt me anymore. Right. And like in the 80s, with the rap explosion, not to say anything negative about rap music because I like a bit of it myself, but I know the people were so passionate and offended by the word. So now it's just like, oh, you know what? It's okay. You can't use that word to hurt me anymore.
Well, that could be it, because you're right. That could be it, because it was all right for us to call each other nigga, but if somebody else that wasn't black, they said that, we'd be like, what? And they didn't get it. They didn't understand it. And the same thing, I guess, with bitch then. Okay.
That's what I'm thinking, because I'm hearing it a lot too. And I said, I guess they've taken the bite out of the word.
Right.
Now you can't use it to hurt me.
Okay, so for us, back in our day, which wasn't that long ago, it was girlfriend, but now it's bitch. So if I said I'll talk to you bitches later, y'all.
It's still wait a minute. For me, it's still a little bitey. It's still
yes,
still got a little bite to it.
So let's talk about that. What's going on with the generation of Black women? I mean, and women of color. Should we be mentoring our 30-somethings more? Are they a little lost? Do we need to kind of bring them up a little bit in terms of the sophistication? I know they know everything. I thought I knew everything at 30.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I often say to myself, how are we going to sell this to the next generation? Whatever this is that we've embraced for the first, 50 some odd years of our lives. How are we going to sell these concepts, these beliefs to the next generation? Are we buying into them?
Well, right now, how are we going to sell our society right now, especially considering what's going on right now? When I talk to my 12-year-old grandson, it is embarrassing. I cannot sugarcoat the crap that's going on right now. It is insane. No matter what side of the fence you sit on. When we were growing up, we didn't have this, We didn't see adults cutting up like this, especially not our leaders. So
Right.
how do we communicate that and still remain true to ourselves? You know,
They say 40 is the new 30, right? It's more than just physicality, because it's a maturity as well. Because just to piggyback on what you said, in previous years, the generation before us, they conducted themselves a certain way. Ladies conducted themselves a certain way. You wouldn't expect to see your mom or your grandmother behaving in a certain way. Right. And now, we're all, a ripped jeans society, not right. just with the clothing, but sometimes myself included, mature women don't really provide the leadership
right.
that younger woman needs. We don't have, we don't seem to have it all together. And believe me, that generation probably didn't have it all together either. They just made it look that way. And that was comforting. And that really was comforting.
Right. I think that's a great topic to talk about, because I feel like for me at 61, I have a lot of knowledge I want to impart into the 20 and 60 somethings. And will they let me do that? My children are all in their late 20s, early 30s. And what I hear is I'm lucky that they're still talking to me because some of them, they're like, oh, I can't talk to my mom, or, they just don't get it. And is that what's going on in our communities with women of color? Can we even afford to let that happen?
That's right. And how do we react when they do talk to us, when they do open up? Are we putting up these walls like, oh no, you can't talk that way? I know living with 20-year-olds, I know some of the things I hear from my daughters is quite shocking. And
well, one of my daughters just went to a Beyonce concert, and this is like her third or fourth one. She's almost 30, and she always goes with some friends of hers that she went to high school with. They were all cheerleaders together. They all loved Beyonce, back when they were growing up. So they still go now as young women, and they dress up and they wear these costumes. Well, luckily enough, I am still on the same text string with I have 4 daughters, with my 4 daughters. And sometimes they get a little overzealous and they don't know I'm on there. They forget that I'm on there. Well, she sent them pictures of her outfit, which are really fabulous. It was fabulous. She said she kept getting stopped asking her, are you going to be in the show? It was fabulous. It was a jumpsuit, see-through, and all these shingly things, whatever. Anyway, she was showing the pictures and she was doing different poses. And then she said, oh, Mom, I'm sorry. I forgot that you were on. And I said, what? Hey, that's cool. No problem. But I thought to myself, well, good. I'm glad she knows that there's some boundaries there.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly.
But what can we do? How can we mentor our young women as they grow into further womanhood, being a woman of color? Because it's different. There's some, especially in corporate America. All of us have had experience in corporate America.
Yeah. What I think is important too is what you said about your daughter who's saying, oh, Mom, I forgot you were on. I think just like when our children were small, they want those boundaries. It's comfortable for them. It's safe for them. And so for us to be able, parenting and mothering and mentoring, it grows like anything else. So the relationship changes, but we have to always remember that we are elders. We need our own group of women where we can go and let our hair down. It's not necessarily with that group. With that group, we still need to present.
That's right.
As an elder, as a wise person. We want to be in there. We want to be in the know. We want to be approachable. But it's not the place where we can let our hair down and our insecurities with them so much, because they really still need us to be sort of like a rock. But amongst ourselves, we need a community where we can go and say, hey, I don't have any of this figured out. I know I should, but I don't.
Something you said reminded me, though, Dravon, something you said. There are those moms, though, who love to be compared to their daughters that they look so young, which is fine. Oh, yeah. But then they also get into wearing the stuff that their daughters are wearing, which is okay, I guess, as long as it's, looking okay. But what's too much? How much is too much? I want to talk about that kind of stuff.
Right.
And what's your opinion on that? Because I really don't know. I have my opinions on two sides of the fence. If you look a hot mess, take it off.
Well, that's at any age, though. That's at any.
Well, we're gonna talk about that too, because here's another one. We talked about the bitch thing. I don't get that one. But what's the thing with the butts?
With the what?
What's happening with that?
The implants.
Women of color, people like us, doing butt implants. What's up with that?
That's going to be a hot topic.
It's going to be a hot topic.
Driven by
Hot topic. Well,
And
I
body
will.
confidence. I think body confidence in general, right?
Yes, body confidence, because our generation put boobs on.
Some of
Right.
our generation.
Now their generation is
Some
putting
of us didn't need it.
well,
you lucky girl.
never. I don't even know what that's like. In fact, through menopause, I got a little thicker, and I was able for the first time ever in my life to wear a bra that pushed something up because I had nothing to push up here. Had nothing. So hey,
Not my struggle.
oh shut up.
Yeah.
So these are the kinds of things we want to talk about. And we don't have answers to all of them, but we really think that it's healthy to have these dialogues in a fun and respectful way, but also healthy to know that you're not the only one who has these questions and things like this, but even triply healthy to actually come up with some solutions
Absolutely.
that we think that, would be helpful for you. So this is what Living Well Woman is all about. It's about holistic living for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your soul. And it's all about for sisters, by sisters, about sisters.
That's it.
Ladies.
Thanks so much, guys. I can't wait. When are we going live?
Yeah, we'll be back in touch to tell you what we're doing. If you have any questions or if you have suggestions of people you'd like to have to have us on with us as the fourth person, or topics you would like to discuss, or what you think about this content, this whole content, please email us at livingwellwoman@gmail.com. That's livingwellwoman@gmail.com, and subscribe to this channel. We're just getting started. And let me tell you, I don't know about these guys, but Mama need a new pair of shoes. When you guys start subscribing and watching this show, eventually you might make some money. I mean, I want to be like my nephew. Remember I told you about my nephew? 200,000 viewers on his YouTube channel. If you guys have any kids or grandkids, ask them if they know Marcellus Perry. If they're into sports, they probably know. His name is Marcel, or I think it's called not Marcellus Perry. It's Marcellus Howard. That's his name on YouTube. Probably more now, probably 250,000. He's just going gangbusters. So I said, I know I'm over 60 and not cool, but why not give it a try?
I'm 50. I'm pretty cool.
What?
I'm 50 and I'm pretty cool.
You're pretty cool. And she's pretty cool.
As we're like laughing and doing this, I am so comforted. This is a place really that I hope women will come and want to hang out.
Absolutely.
Right. To know each other, and just, we need a place like this. We give all day long, whether it's to the profession, to our careers, to our children, to our places of worship, to our significant others. This is really a community for us, because we can't give unless somebody's giving to us, and we can come here with like minds. We don't have all the answers, but together we can work through some answers, right?
That's
so this
right.
is a place for us to come and give to ourselves and just fill up so we can go out and give more. What we do.
Yeah. Yes.
And starting next week, the show's going to be live and very interactive. So join us, subscribe, get your notifications.
Yeah, subscribe so you can get the notification, because we will be live next week, and we're so excited. But be gentle.
And I think we said it already too. When you subscribe, leave comments about topics that you want to hear discussed. I think we said sex, right? We said sex.
If we didn't, let's say it again. Sex.
And money.
And money. Yeah. Let's learn how to really
difficult relationships, and all of that right here for us, by us, and about us.
Absolutely. Thanks, ladies. It's been fun. Remember, Living Well Woman. Check us out. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.